Hey, it's Jeff from Corona Cigar, and today I've got something pretty cool to share with you. Now, I am an absolute history buff and love this kind of stuff. We're looking at several $100,000 worth of pre-embargo Cuban cigars here. So come on close and I want to show you something. There's several ways that you can tell when a box is a genuine pre-embargo Cuban cigar. Before the revolution where Fidel Castro took over and then we had an American embargo, the cigars that would come out of Cuba would have English on it, where it says made in Cuba. So every one of these boxes will say made in Cuba. He got rid of all the English, so you won't see made in Cuba anywhere on the post-embargo or post-revolution cigars. So another thing too, where it says the word claro, has to do with the color of the wrapper, because they would color sort the cigars. You have English market selection, American market selection, and also sometimes they would even go to Candela. English market selection is the darker colors, American market selection is the lighter ones. This was explained to me by Benji Menendez, whose father used to own H. Upmann in the Monte Cristo factories. He said when he was a child there and worked in the factory with his dad, he was this little pencil mark, means light, light, light. They had light, light, and light, light, light. So that's how they used to mark the bottom of the boxes. Another thing real quick I want to show you, the Cuban tax seal here. One of the things a lot of people get confused about on the old pre-embargo cigars is right here where it says 1912. This box is not from 1912, but the tax stamps from that pre-embargo era did have that date on it. What you really want to look for on a pre-embargo, an authentic box of pre-embargo cigars, is the perforation, because they called these tax stamps for a reason, because they were just like a postage stamp. They had a big sheet of them and they would have to tear the tax stamp off and put it on the box of cigars. So anyway, this is a beautiful box of the Hoyo de Monterrey. I love the artwork that they used. When they print this stuff on the old stone templates, they put these stone plates in the press and really emboss it hard. So it's got beautiful deep embossing there. So this is a beautiful box of the Hoyo de Monterrey. Great condition. I don't see any bug holes. There's a little bit of staining on the top, but you know, when you start getting into boxes of cigars that are 50, 60 years old, you will see that. Let's move on to the next one. This is really cool. Troya is a brand that you don't hear a lot about. They don't make them anymore in Cuba, but the Troya brand still exists. Trademark got reintroduced in the United States. I'll open it up real quick for you to see it. The reds and the golds and the whites, it's just such a classic, and the condition of these cigars are beautiful. All right, let's move into this one. Really cool. The Dunhill Selection Suprema, H. Upmann. This was a private manufacturer of the H. Upmann brand for the Alfred Dunhill store. See where it says on 5th Avenue, New York? They also had a store in Chicago and they had one in California. Now those are not around anymore, but these were made specifically for the Alfred Dunhill store in the United States, made in Cuba. So this is a really, really collectible cigar. A lot of you heard the story about JFK, how he sent out his top aide to go to every cigar store they could to buy as many H. Upmanns as he can, because the next day he knew that he was going to sign the embargo. So when you have a cigar from Cuba that was brought into America, it always had that letter G. That's the tax stamp. That was a classification for the cigars when they came into the United States. Let's go to this La Corona. So this La Corona pre-embargo, take a good look at this. I really love the artwork on the old La Coronas. Beautiful wrappers, beautiful condition, really, really good specimen of that. Take a look, flip it over. Again, see the pencil mark? LLL, handmade in Havana, Cuba. Take a look at this one, Por Larrañaga. Por Larrañaga is a very interesting brand, made for a doctor named Dr. Larrañaga, done in the 1800s. Open it up and it's really, really beautiful. Look at the embossing on the bands. On a lot of these pre-embargo cigars, look for this little piece of tissue. They usually had that right on the bottom just to help protect the foot of the cigars. This box was intended for sale in Cuba, and I'm going to show you how I know that. These little stickers here tell stories. This is a tax, 30 centavos. That's at the 30-cent tax that was paid on this box, and that tax stamp says República de Cuba. So this box was actually sold in a cigar shop in Cuba. What's really cool about it is when you look, not only does it show the store with the address, when you flip it over, the factory, the Garcia La Fuentecilla, the address, Maximo Gomez, the telephone number, M3718. So back in the old days when you wanted to call somebody, make a phone call, they had a switchboard operator and you tell them M3718 and that's how you get your phone call made. So this is a really cool old box of cigars. Really cool one right here, the Partagas Escodiga Especial. This was a special edition one made in the Partagas. What's really cool, you'll see Partagas bands in a lot of different ways. This one has the brown and white. Not very common to see a Partagas band like that. Extremely rare. I get excited when I see these kind of things because every one of these tells a story. Right here, free of tax, for use only of U.S. military or naval forces in Alaska and Hawaii. So this box was sent to a military base either in Alaska or Hawaii before the embargo. So just wonderful stories of American history, our history with Cuba, very old box of cigars. Next one, Troyas. This one's the Corona Sigler 20. Let's see if the bands are the same as the other Troya. A little bit different. And see, this one here's got a little damage to it. So that's something I'll end up smoking. The rest of the cigars are in great condition. We put the bubble wrap in there so that the heads don't get split on these things during transport. I like the way these things taste. They got a lot of flavor. A lot of people ask about that. Cuban cigars, how do they taste after, 60, 70 years? They taste really distinct. Romeo Julieta, here's another one. Beautiful presentation here. The bands on this one are really, really good condition. Usually don't even see them in that good a shape. And the cigars are flawless. So this is an incredible box, and this is a 50 count. Now there's another Selection Suprema of the Romeo Julieta as well, right next to it. This is just a different size. We've got a box of 50, natural box, beautiful condition as well. All right, let's move on to another one. It's really cool. Ramon Low Knees. This is a pre-embargo one. Very, very rare. And what's cool about this one, so it's a box of 50. Trump's natural. I love the name. Obviously, Trump meant something of high quality even back then. This box we know was brought into the United States. This is the U.S. tax stamp right here. Beautiful box. Let's take a look. Check it out. Look at that. These things are perfect. Beautiful cigars. Let's move on here. I want to show you a really, really old box. This box had to come sometime back early 1900s, La Independencia. This is a box that was celebrating the independence of Cuba. Now, one of the things that's really interesting, that's not the Cuban flag. That's actually the Puerto Rican flag. The colors are reversed between the Cuban and the Puerto Rican flag. They wanted their independence, the folks in Cuba and Puerto Rico, but the Puerto Ricans didn't have to go to war in order to get their independence. When the Americans got involved with what we call the Spanish-American War, happened in 1898, Spain basically lost that war and Cuba got its independence. We acquired the colony, former Spanish colony, Puerto Rico. So this flag represents the independence movement from Spain. These are extremely, extremely old. But you can see the beautiful bands, how deep the embossing is, and the way the cigars are box pressed. The wrappers are a little rough, not normally as fine of a quality as you see in some of the later versions of these, but I will tell you these are some of the oldest ones that we have. You can really tell how they were box pressed, the way they squished together, and real nice condition, especially the bands. I love that. So let's flip the box over, take a look here. These are the Colorado, that's a color of wrapper, and it's got a tax stamp on it. Ironically enough, the tax stamp is from Spain. So this box actually was sold as a brand in Spain. What do you think here? I think we should open a box of cigars. Let's do an unboxing of one of these. I've got 3 that aren't opened. I want to see what these Por Larrañagas look like. So we're going to do an unboxing here, and let's see what we're going to get. Because I got to tell you, this may be a perfect box, or it could be a box full of tobacco dust. I almost feel guilty ripping this wax paper off knowing it's been on here so long. These old boxes, man, they've got these things sealed like Fort Knox. This paleta is actually sealed all the way around. So we got to find the joint between the box and the lid. This is very old, and I'll tell you why. It's got the U.S. tax stamp G. So this got imported into the United States, definitely before Kennedy's time. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see. Oh, they're in cellophane too. Nice. That's cool because if you did have a bug in a cigar, he'll eat the whole box. But in cellophane, they usually stay in one cigar. No holes, and they're perfectos. So actually, I think these are older than what I told you. Perfecto was a very popular shape when you start getting down into the 40s. They kind of lost appeal when things started moving more to the Churchill sizes and the Coronas and the long Coronas. Oh man, it smells so good. And also the color, light. It's almost kind of got that little green hue to it. That was really popular back in the old days. I gotta tell you, I've never seen this. I've never seen this shape in Port Larrañaga. Hey, we scored good on there. I'm smoking one right now. This is an old pre-embargo Sancho Panza. The only ones I smoke are the damaged ones. See that little hole? That's where tobacco beetle popped out. You can have a box of cigars that's 50, 60, 70 years old. You can get a tobacco beetle. Great cigar, a lot of flavor in these things. Stop by sometime, one of our stores. We do not sell these mail order. We do not sell them online. You gotta come in person, buy one. And you know what makes these cigars taste even better? When you smoke them at Corona Cigar with a great friend, great conversation, and a great cocktail. Enjoy, guys.